baby! Hey, welcome to WACTS. This is episode 30. This week I'm covering what I did from August 25th to August 30th. 2015 is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, first of all because last week's episode went a little bit into the week because of baby, and also because of baby. And yeah, I'm just tired, and yeah, I'm pretty much at that stage that I was predicting I'd be, where it's like, oh, I gotta do that episode. I just want to go to bed. But the whole point of this blog is to capture these moments, so this is me kind of tired. That being said, I'm not nearly as tired as my wife is, poor girl, doing a fantastic job, but really being kept up all hours of the night by our little monster slash love of our life. Really, he is feeling like he needs to feed all the time. It's so hard to get even like 30 minutes without him rooting around asking for food. So yeah, you know, it's all part of the fun. It's really interesting, by the way, just in the past few days, like I guess he's 11 days old now, watching how he has already started to find like more muscle coordination, I guess we're in the baby part. Maybe this whole episode will be baby. No, it won't. I'll have a couple sections at the end, but we're talking about baby now, right through the intro into baby. It's really interesting with coordination and everything, figuring out how, you know, he's starting to figure out how to use his fingers. Like at first, if you put a pacifier in his mouth, he would just drop it and, you know, be upset. Now he had what we were calling hand clubs that were kind of like finding a way to hold stuff in. And now it's a little bit more fingers, like almost like a little bit of a grip, like and he can like hold stuff in that way. So that's exciting. Yeah, so he's doing really well. I haven't seen a smile yet. It's still mostly grimacing, but it's just really wonderful to see the development happening. Also with his face, like at first he's obviously super cute and adorable and we love him, but it's kind of an amorphous, blobby baby face, and already we're starting to see a little bit more definition and a little bit more features, like a little bit more of a distinct kind of character. And that's not just, because we're starving him. We're not starving him, but he does need to gain weight a little bit faster than he's doing right now. Right now there's a nurse stopping by the house. It's a free service our hospital offers. So cool. And that's really useful to just be able to ask questions and just have someone checking in. So we, if we're there kind of like, are we doing things right? Are things going okay? Or is this how this is supposed to be? There's someone to answer all those questions. For example, the other day, Alistair's umbilical cord little nub fell off. And we're like, oh, it's only been like 6 days. Is that, long enough? And what do we do? And, there's a little bit of blood. Do we put in Neosporin or alcohol or just put a Band-Aid over it? Do we clean it? And, all these kind of questions have answers. And it's great, especially with a nurse around, to be able to be like, hey, here's the baby, tell us, stuff that we should do about this. So that's really useful. On the subject of guests, this is a really interesting topic because I think everyone has a different experience with, figuring out how to, when they have their first child, figuring out how to adjust to this new 3-person dynamic. Maybe you and your significant other have been together for a long time and it's just been the two of you and you're used to that dynamic, and then all of a sudden there's a third person, and there's a certain period of time where you're trying to figure out how this new 3-way dynamic works, who gets attention when, and who supersedes who. Of course the baby supersedes everyone, that doesn't even require discussion, but everyone has kind of a different adjustment period where they maybe just want those 3 people involved in figuring this stuff out and don't want to see a lot of family, don't want to see a lot of visitors. We have friends who, live very close by their families, and it's very easy for their families to drop by whenever they want, which is, of course, a blessing and a curse. It's great to see your family, but not if you are, exhausted and just trying to deal with a colicky baby and, trying to figure out how to just do that one thing without distractions from everyone else, even if they mean really well. So we also have the blessing and curse of living very far away from any of our families. So, the very first visit of my parents and Liz's dad and, all these other people who haven't seen the baby yet, that's not going to be for a little bit of time. I mean, my dad's coming up next weekend for Labor Day, and then my mom and my brothers, they won't be coming up for like a month. We have, a couple friends coming up, later in October, so it's like very spaced. It's not like, so-and-so is coming over Tuesday and so-and-so is coming over Thursday, like this very tight kind of like, oh God, we got so much planning to do. But we did, we finally got to see some of our neighbors who are very excited about the baby. Today was the first day that they got to see him, so that happened this morning. That was really exciting to see that reaction. They also brought us an amazing apple pie. We really do have the best neighbors. That apple pie is so good. Unfortunately, Liz can't enjoy it because it has cinnamon, and she still has this crazy allergic reaction to cinnamon that came out of nowhere in the 11th hour of the pregnancy. I've never heard of anything like that, but the human body is very bizarre. And then our friend Dan King, who lives in the city, his parents have been wonderfully supportive of Liz and I and everything we do, and Sadie, and just every part of our family, from animal to person. And they wanted to stop by and see the baby, and Kevin, Dan's dad, had never seen the house before, so we were going to see them today. And then while we were hanging out with our neighbors, I got a call like, oh, actually, my dad couldn't make it up the hill, and we're getting AAA to like tow his car now to a mechanic. And it's like, oh god, because our road really is awful. But I heard that like they didn't even get up to the first hill on the road, and thinking like, that's really weird. So I'll cut to the ending of the story. They to get to a mechanic, and they found out that it was just a rock. There was just a rock rattling around, making it sound like there was something horrible going on. But the car was fine. The mechanic didn't even charge them. Good people. But Liz and I did decide, we thought we can do this. We can surprise them. So even though, as of when they said that they were waiting for AAA, Alistair was being pretty whiny, cryy. We're like, you know what, he really loves his car seat. Let's see what happens when we put him in the magic car seat. And we did, and lo and behold, he stopped crying. I started carrying him, and he went from wah, 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 to something totally relaxed. And that was great. Put him in the car, went down, got to see them very briefly, came back here. All good stuff. Is that all for the baby this week? I think that's the major things for the baby this week. Diapers really aren't bothering me that much. I converted our compost bin into like a diaper pail. That's going great. I wanted to change the bassinet thing we're using right now with the actual crib, but the crib, now that we've assembled it, doesn't fit through the door. Oh no. So maybe I'll disassemble it tomorrow or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, it's crying still really isn't bothering me. Like, I hear it and I'm like, I want to help you. But yeah, I'll say it. Like if I need to get something else done in the moment, and I really feel like his cries are just like, I want to be held or something, like, yeah, I don't feel so bad about waiting 30 seconds and finishing up what I'm doing, but I'm trying to get very good at figuring out, like, oh, no, like, he just made a huge mess in his diaper, like, I need to be there now. And, we're starting to deal with, like, the early phases of diaper rash and things like that, so it's all a learning process. Yeah, good stuff, though. It's really cool being a father. So far, it's going to change every day, and I love hearing all the stories everyone else has about, exploding liquids and all that kind of thing. But our story so far is a good one. Enjoying it. Baby for now. Okay, here is a fairly grumpy Alistair at 11 days old. Oh. And you can see his features are starting to become a little bit more defined. Although it's weird, looking at him in the camera, he actually looks pretty different from how I see him when I'm looking at him. But cameras can do that sometimes. And yeah, look at those grimaces. Who knows, maybe in a few weeks I can show you a smile. But for now, oh, that's him spitting up. Look at those feet. Look at the feet. Look at the hands.